Hey everybody, how you doing out there? This is Uncle Steve's Lounge. I am Uncle Steve, and in I am ecstatic about today's win. The Atlanta Falcons defeat the New Orleans Saints 26-24 in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. I, I know everyone is gonna point out the bad, but you know what? We won the game. And I'm at a point right now where I'll take the win over anything else. That being said, we're gonna hear your thoughts. Let's sit down, talk about it, and enjoy this win for a little bit because we got some more business down the road on Thursday. Let's talk Falcons Saints in Uncle Steve's Lounge.
You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Gonna sit down, have a good time. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge.
What is going on and how's everyone doing out there in Uncle Steve's Lounge? Welcome into the lounge on a victorious Sunday where the Atlanta Falcons win 26-24. And I'm telling you, man, just a great vibe for Atlanta Falcons fans today at the Benz. Last week I was talking about Kansas City and how that game kind of brought back some of that 2017 season, the first year we opened up the Benz, and the energy that was there in the stands. I know it was a Sunday night game, so it was prime time. You had a lot of folks out there. But today it was really interesting. Now, by no means was every seat full, and it rarely is, because a lot of people were either tailgating and stuff. And yeah, they say we sell out the stadium, but for the most part, a lot of folks do their partying outside. But listen, today, I must admit, man, it was loud in there. I mean, it was absolutely loud. The Atlanta Falcons fans came to show up and show out. And anybody who was there today, if you were there at the stadium, was it just me? I think the Saints fans seemed kind of subdued today. Even when they took the lead for that small part at the end, I don't know whether was it me, but they just didn't seem like it's like the normal energy that they bring into the stadium. And there was a lot of them there. It wasn't Pittsburgh. It wasn't really even Kansas City, to be honest with you, but they were there. But to me, I just didn't get that vibe from them. But I tell you what, man, in the fourth quarter, the third and fourth quarter before New Orleans scored that last touchdown, the Falcons fans were getting into it, the third downs, the parts when, the team really needed the fans to step up and cheer for them and at certain times. I just like that. I love that we kind of stood on what we stood on in that game, and we ended up prevailing. I know we're going to get some comments about certain parts of the game, whatever. And I hear you. I'm going to listen to everything and we're going to talk about it as well. But man, I I'm just at a point right now in the NFL. And the NFL is weird right now. And I say weird is nowhere close to what everyone thinking is going to be. Now, you wouldn't be surprised to see Buffalo 3-0. Yeah, maybe not shocked to see Baltimore. I'm sorry, Pittsburgh 3-1 or anything like that. But this Washington Commander thing, this Jaden Daniels thing, Minnesota ripping off 4 victories, and those are 2 teams coming into year. Everyone had already kind of penciled in and said, "Oh, that's a win." And now we got to play those teams later on. I am just of the belief that every game is just gonna be a battle, and it's a matter of how we end up closing these games at the end. Today, we closed the game. I know there were mistakes. I know the offense didn't look crisp. They looked good at times, but they didn't look that proficient. We just gonna have to go through these games, folks. You know what? And I take ugly wins. I keep seeing the word ugly or like in Philly. Y'all lucky y'all want. No, it's not luck. These games are truly where you can have 1, 2, or 3 plays that you can say, "Oh, that turned the tide." And that's the team we're gonna be, folks. We're not gonna be the team that you play on Madden and we're gonna blow out teams by 20 something points, and Drake London is gonna rack up yards, and Kirk Cousins is gonna hit 75% and 300 yards and 5 touchdowns. That's not this team. This team is gonna grit. They're gonna grind. They're gonna crawl to get these wins. And I think that's just who we are right now. I mean, will they get better in certain aspects? Maybe. But right now, I'll take it. As long as we get the W. We get the W, I'm good. And I really mean that. I just feel like we'll take it. Who would have thought that game would have come down to the last second? I did. Because that's Falcons Saints. Anybody been around in this rivalry long enough, records are usually thrown out. Falcons Saints just play like that. So we'll take the win. We're 1-0 in the division. We're 2-0 in the conference. 2 very important things you don't think about until November and December. It's a good time to stack wins. We can get a second win here 4 days from now and see if we can, start really controlling our own destiny. Because I tell you what, not only is Tampa Bay going to be a hard game this Thursday, Carolina's not a pushover now with Andy Dalton doing things, right? So, I mean, that's why I am. I'll take the win. We'll still talk about what happened and what didn't happen. But what I do want to hear, while you're giving your comments, I would love to hear who your MVP of today's Falcons win. There's a couple of nominees. The much maligned, all year, criticized, rightfully so in some cases, Troy Anderson, 16 tackles. Finally got to flash some of that speed on that pick 6 today. He's a candidate. Also a candidate, a guy who had run for 1,000 yards and now all of a sudden was told, take off the Batman cape, change into Robin for the last 2 years, and just wait your turn. You'll get some carries. Tyler Algier, 8 carries, 60 yards. I mean, and those yards when they needed them were super important. And then, of course, the obvious hero with the 58-yard field goal, Younghoe Koo. Yes, would have been nice to get a little closer. Would have been nice to make it a little easier for him. But man, he was dialed in. And matter of fact, since that preseason game against Baltimore, he hasn't missed a kick. So, as one who is criticizing him, I'm going to also give him some love because I really do feel like, yeah, he's definitely in this win and the Philly win deserving of some kudos. So those are some nominees. If you got anybody else, let me know. Again, before we get into the chat, y'all just remember when y'all get in here, please hit the like button for me. Gonna do our thing. Appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe to Uncle Steve's Lounge. Thank you all for joining me today. I see right off the bat, I'm coming into the chat. I see 2 super chats in here. One from my brother Greg with Greg Custom Kicks.
Super chat with Uncle. Super chat with Uncle. Super chat with
My brother Greg, we appreciate you, man. Thank you for joining us in Uncle Steve's Lounge. He said, not pretty, some things to clean up, division win. That at the end of the day, that's the most important thing, right? Isn't that the most important thing? Take the division win. I'll take it all day. Yes. JJ the Great is in here as well. What's up, JJ?
the Falcons creeping. Gonna find ya. You can't just sleep.
JJ, we appreciate you joining us. And thank you for the super chat, my friend. He said, what's up, Onk? A walk-off cool field goal. My first Falcon game. Couldn't have gone better. Those Ain't fans were sick. Yeah, you know, and it was funny because, again, like I said, they were super subdued today. I just thought, you know, they usually come. Now, don't get me wrong. They would, which is always funny after the game, because after the game, the Falcons fans and the Saints fans go out there and they party like it's, you know, nobody's business. And they don't care because everyone's having a good time. So but it wasn't. I'm telling you, the mood was really weird with the Saints fans today. Even when they took the lead, it wasn't that overwhelming, annoying, obnoxious New Orleans Saints group. I don't know. That was weird. And another John at the eye test. What's going on, brother?
You know, a real super chat. Girl, you got me.
I know my buddy John is ready to fire up. I can't wait to hear his comments on the eye test. I know they usually come on Wednesdays to hear what he's going to have to say about this particular game because, yes, it was not a pretty game, but at the same time, you got to take what you can, man. He said, what more can the defense do for a team? The defensive unit put 14 points on the board while the offense wallowed in the mud all day. Coo, coo, coo. Or as the Beatles would say, cuckoo, cuckoo. Coo was money. I mean, that's the recipe to win, folks. Get a little offense, get a little defense, mix it up, do your thing, and that's how it goes. Appreciate you guys and gals with the super chats. Thank you so much. Feel free to go ahead and throw that in there. I will try to get to you as soon as possible. We are going to start back at the top of the chat. We got our brother Dexter Owens is in the house today. What's up, Dex? Dex said as soon as I started talking mess about Anderson, he started making plays. He's still outrunning his gap control because we was getting gashed for 5 yards a pop all season today, playing 10 yards off on third down. He's got to get more creative with this defense. Talking about Jimmy Lake, no play action bootleg. With this offense, I'm sorry. He's talking about Zach Robinson. He needs to get creative with this offense. No play action bootleg with Pitts at tight end. This offense is vanilla. Don't look nothing like the other team that run this offense. We too talented. Is that another thing? I'm glad we did pick up Judon. He has made a splash play every game, and if not for him, we would be horrible at sacking the quarterback. We only have 4 this season with this vanilla defense. All true, all true. But today, I'm going to take that win. I'm going to take it. RJ, what's going on, brother? How you doing, man? Good to see you. Thanks for joining us in Uncle Steve's Lounge. That goes for my buddy False Start here as well. Was good. He said full team win, special teams, defense, and offense did contribute. And let's not act like the offense didn't do anything. I'm not trying to say it was, highly proficient. Hey, Kirk Cousins definitely could have a little bit more accuracy. 21 for 35. The interception was not great. 235 yards. He spread the ball around. Drake got 6 catches. Mooney got 3 catches. Ray got 6 catches. Darnell Mooney also drew that pass interference call at the end, which was great. Bijan got 4 out of the backfield. I mean, again, folks, things aren't going to look perfect, but in a win, sometimes you just got to make one more play than the other team. And I think today was a day that we made one more play than the other team. And like Greg said earlier, not pretty, but division win. We'll take it. RJ Falcon also say, just wanted to say Tyler Algier comparison is Michael Turner. I saw what today. He's a really physical back. Yeah, man. I mean, well, Tyler, he was like that at BYU. I mean, he's always been that. So I think at the end of the day, they want to shine. They want to show off the shiny toy in Bijan Robinson. But there's a place for Tyler on this team. My hope is that they try to re-sign him between now and next year. I know he has 1 year left, but if you're not going to sign him, it would be foolish to let him get to the end of 4 years, because I could just see another team coming up and swooping him up, unless we are successful, I guess. Henry, what's going on, brother? How you doing today? Thank you for joining us in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Happy Sunday, Uncle Steve and Falcons family. I hope you all are having a fantastic day. Yes, now we are. Absolutely. Mad Savage is in here. What's going on, Mad? He said if they can win Thursday, that would be really nice. Not only nice, that would put them as 2-0 and 3-0 in the conference. And again, I don't want to jump start anything because Falcons haven't won 2 games straight yet. But this is an awesome opportunity for everyone to, take that step as far as our team is concerned. Because, the one thing I've noticed is a lot more of a veteran team, which I do like. And I think that's one of the reasons why we've hung around. I mean, we've been in every game, obviously. Even the Pittsburgh game, as awful as the stats look and everything like that, we had opportunities in that game too. Sometimes it's just about getting one more play than the next team. It's not like New Orleans came out there and ran a stellar machine as well. New Orleans came close to blowing that game. If we would have found a way to get a first down, which I didn't even think we would, on that one after we stopped them at 4th and goal, if we would have found a way to get a first down, I think that game, all the suspense would have been gone, which would have been great. But hey, Dirty Bird 67 in the house. He said, I could see how the fans was acting on TV. It was a different stood on business today. Absolutely. It was a much different crowd. If you were there, please comment and let me know, because I'm not saying these things. I mean, dude, I'm telling y'all, I've been out there for a long time, since early 2000s, as a regular season ticket holder. And then as just a fan, is from a long time ago. I mean, it's just been different the last couple of games. I know last week was the Sunday night, but today it was just different. It was loud Falcons fans today. And Lord, don't put Ready on anymore. But folks, they'll keep on singing throughout the whole song. It was awesome. And what was the other? It was another song that they kept singing. Oh, what was the other song they kept singing throughout? I can't remember what it was, but it was another one. Appreciate that. Greg says, give Uncle thumbs up. Thank you so much. And he is correct. If you have a like button sitting in front of you and you are watching this particular stream, we would appreciate you pushing that like button for us. Thank you so much. I am your host, Uncle Steve. I appreciate you joining me in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Here we talk Falcons football. We really talk a lot of other things, entertainment. But on Sundays during the football season, we talk Falcons. So today, it was a win. We're going to talk winning football today. And that's the Atlanta Falcons. Henry says there's a new Iceman in the ATL. Coop came in clutch to ice the Aints. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Clayton Murray is in the house. What's going on, Clayton? How you feeling, brother? He said, what's up, Steve? Need to win for the team and the fans. But Vilma don't need to commentate our home games, and that ref don't need to ref our games no more. Zach Robinson is on notice for his head. I'm going to tell you what, Clayton. Vilma, I think if I really fill it out, he always has this region. You'll always see him in Tampa games, New Orleans games, Carolina games. So he must be like on the D team. Like he's not the Tom Brady. He's not the Greg Olsen. He's not those cats. So he's like lucky to have a job. I mean, he's okay, but he is annoying. I can only imagine. I didn't hear him today, but I know he's super annoying sometimes, especially since he used to be on the other side of the field. So, I mean, it is what it is. My brother Tidy in the house today. What is going on, Tidy? Y'all make sure y'all check out the Atlanta Bird Gang on YouTube. My brother Tidy does his thing there. Also on Monday, he does the player grade. So I'll be interested to see what his Troy Anderson, as a frequent critic of Mr. Anderson, I'm really looking forward to seeing what Tidy's going to give him this Monday after his great game. He says, after the first quarter of the Falcons season, what is your biggest concern from your vantage point? Vantage point meaning they're playing sweet. Well, me and AB were talking about it. No, quite honestly, I just feel right now Kirk Cousins is not very athletic. And I think that's scaring me a little bit. I think he has now today. Give the O-line credit, and remember Storm Norton and Newsill. Remember those guys are, backups. They did a pretty decent job, especially early on, protecting Kirk. So I need Kirk to return the favor and put some more accurate throws in there. Now he did have a few good shots in there. Receivers made some good. Drake made some nice catches today. And I'm gonna tell you what, Mooney, the more and more when they first signed Mooney, I was like, huh? Really? What? But now it's more evident to me that Mooney is the number one receiver for Kirk Cousins. And I don't think I didn't come to that realization just now. But he's just the guy that can do things. He's the guy that Kurtz looks for in the end. But I will say Drake has stepped up his game a lot. And maybe Drake is seeing on the other side of the field the first time he had somebody on his flip side that's like, oh, I might need to step up my game if I'm going to get some throws. And I'm also starting to look at, Ray is getting a lot of targets as well. Ray McLeod. And Drake is like, well, wait a minute. Kirk Cousins came here to help my game, and he's throwing to all the free agents out there. Kyle, remember earlier this year, Kyle Pitts? Oh, the Kyle Pitts connection is going to be great, and we're still waiting. Yeah, the one touchdown was nice last week, but you need more. Mad Savage says it's hard to win a football game. Any level. It is hard. That's Georgia. That's Alabama. And I know I'm not trying to skew to that, but what a great, fantastic game that was last night. Both teams, that was just an effort. Because everybody had Georgia out at 28-0 and 30-7 at halftime. But Kirby Smart, you say what you want to say about Kirby Smart, not my Bobo, but say what you want to say about Kirby Smart. Kirby Smart makes great adjustments. He did the same thing to Alabama in the national championship game. He just makes adjustments. I don't know. I don't think it's like a a rah-rah speech. I think they just make adjustments. And they came up a little short, Georgia. But as you saw today, they only dropped to number 5. So, people know. Antoine Wartime, what's going on, brother? How you feeling? What's good, Uncle Steve and family? 1 down, 2 to go. Yes, sir. This gauntlet of the NFC South. Dirty Bird 67 said, we play competitive. That makes a difference. Yes, it does. It does. Antoine Wartime says his MVP is Troy Anderson. Dirty Bird says, kudos. Looked on the end. Need to play him more. You know what? I don't know what that. I might have to let you start that over. I might have messed that up. JJ says Troy, Koo, Algier are all in the running for MVP. Absolutely. DJ in the house. Demetrius, what is going on, my friend? Good to see you. Welcome into Uncle Steve's Lounge on a victorious Sunday evening. Appreciate y'all joining me in here. C-Double is in the house. What's going on, C-Double? He said, we won, but man, this offense is annoying me. And better yet is OC. MVP is Troy Anderson, 16 tackles, got that pick 6. But man, what are we doing in the red zone? Let me tell you something. I am as frustrated as the other fan. And I don't want anybody to mistake what I'm saying. I'm not trying to sweep the mistakes under the rug, because these are the mistakes that come back to bite you in November, December, and hopefully January when we're making a run. But at the same time, sometimes you got to take these games. Look at Kansas City. Kansas City has basically struggled most of the games they played this year, but they find a way, and they do the same speech afterwards. Yeah, we need to go work on, but good to have the win. And that's true. At this point, who really cares? I don't not say who really cares. Obviously, they care. But, right, you winning. If you win, you worry about the other stuff later on. Big Low Country Sports in the house. What is going on, my brother? Y'all make sure y'all check out Big Low Country Sports. I'm pretty sure he'll be on a little bit later on in the evening to go through his recap. Y'all make sure y'all check him out on YouTube. He always lots of fun and good entertainment there. I don't know if y'all got a chance to see his tribute to the Saints this week in his attempt to be a trap rapper, I guess. I don't know what you call that, but y'all make sure y'all check his video out where he was giving his best juvenile in that one. He said, I feel like I'm the MVP. My diss song helped us to victory. And that's what I was talking about, the diss song that he has out again. Y'all got to check that out, man. It was some awesome things. He's on YouTube, on his channel, definitely on Twitter. Y'all make sure y'all check him out, man. Hey, they'll take that too, man. Every little bit helps. So shout out to Big Low doing his thing to help the team. But I tell you again, as I always said,
ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis.
So, I mean, Marcus Watson, what's going on, my friend? How you doing? He said, Koo is the MVP. JJ the Great says they had no answer for Tyler. And is that just the most when Ryan Cameron comes on and he's like, give the ball to Tyler. I love it. Love it. Clayton Murray says, I watched that Aints podcast. He was salty. He said he can't admit that we're better due to offensive performance. He got a point, but today we better. I mean, of course they're gonna always they're gonna always be a little salty. So it is what it is, man. My nephew in the house, nephew Armani in there. What's going on, man? Congratulations to Armani in his Roll Tide, Alabama Crimson Tide. Look, I made a point I was dogging about earlier yesterday morning, and then he made a point to holler at me when it was like 20-something to zip. I didn't hear a word from him after that, but I see he stuck his head up. So good to see you, my friend. Demetri says MVP for offense, Young Money, Coop. MVP for defense, Troy. Yep, I can deal with that too. C Double giving a shout out to Big Low on his song. He says, Dirty Bird says Tyler was the X factor, needed those hard yards to wear the defense down. And that was true. That was a very critical time of the game, Dirty Bird. And matter of fact, buddy, we should have closed that drive out with a touchdown. But yeah, you're right. He wore them down. You could almost tell, man, them guys were tired of tackling him. They really were. Corliss, what's going on, brother? How you doing? He said, what's good, Steve? Great win. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Greg says, cool to MVP. Troy number 2. They've been giving Anderson the business. 44 balled out today. He was on Kamara's bumper almost every tackle. And I know, listen, a lot of people were talking about the space in between, and they're absolutely right. It does, as a fan, when you say to yourself, man, it's first down and 10, and you're giving him 7-yard cushion. So when they catch the ball, they automatically get like a 2nd and 3. It's annoying, but have y'all noticed, though, the majority of the time, they really don't come up with a lot of stuff. It really doesn't, like, come back to bite us a lot. A lot of those drives end up in field goals. I know they scored a couple of today. I'm going to tell you who else is our MVP, who our anti-MVP was. I'll tell you what. When Taysom Hill got hurt, man, that whole game, the whole look of New Orleans offense changed. It's almost like they say, oh, dang, he ain't going to play? We need to change this up. The whole look of it. And they only got it together at the very end. Finally. Taysom Hill, anti-MVP. Clayton says MVP cool and defense special teams. Honorable mention Tyler Algier. Henry says today is cool in the cool in the gang. Yes, it's late at night. WGCG in the house. What's going on, man? He said Kirk Cousins either needs to get healthy or retire because he looked like Matt Ryan in his last year with the Titans. I'm sorry, or with the Colts. You meant. Listen, I'm really concerned about even that one time when he kind of rolled out, it just looked painful to see him kind of get out of the pocket. And you know he's not going to run, so the defense is like, I mean, we just got to run with him to the side. He's not going to run the ball. I think that's what look, again, a win is a win. Let me make sure I say that out front. But pretty soon, and it might become sooner than later, you're going to have to put someone in there that's going to be able to be agile and move around in that pocket. That's just today's NFL quarterback. That's just the quarterback for the day. We have to realize that pretty soon. Now, we've already invested the money, so there's no need to keep throwing it around. We've got to start looking at that. And that's not saying we should throw number 9 in there real quick, but I'm just saying we need to start. Maybe he needs to go back and see what's going on. And does he need to sit out a little bit, let that ankle really rehab? I don't know. T. Terry says, so true. Kurt looking old. He does. And that's what it looks like. It looks like he's old. Yeah. Melinda Marshall in the house. Oh, man, let me tell you something. If you're sitting at home, you might not know who Melinda Marshall is. But if you are in the Mercedes-Benz, that young lady gets more TV time than Uncle Steve, which is kind of messed up. But it's always a great team because she's a very energetic fan, and it's always good to see her on the halo up there partying and representing her team out there. So kudos to you, young lady. She says, cool. Yes, bam. Absolutely. Big Low Country Sports says crowd energy is different this season. It is different. And that's what I was trying to explain earlier. That it was just very different today. Big Low said, yeah, never scared. Yeah. When Bone Crusher came out, Bone Crusher was there and did a live snippet of I Ain't Never Scared. And the crowd just kept going after he was done. And that was just a beautiful thing to see. Just beautiful. So I love it. Love it. Save Through Jesus is in the house. What's going on? And that's awesome. Great name. He said, let's move over to the Seahawks games. Now, I think that's what it is. He's like the D-list person. Yeah, if y'all remember, if you've been watching network football long enough, you know who the D-list folks are. And that doesn't mean they don't have capability. It means that they pick up the other games. Like you used to have Troy Aikman and Joe Buck on the big games. CBS has Romo and Jim Nance on the big game and stuff like that. Now they have Brady and Burkhardt on the big game. And then you got all the other little games where I want to call them scrubs. It's not scrubs, but it's scrub-ish. Where they say you're not good enough to be on big-time TV. Wife shout out in the house. Aunt Kira is in the house. What is going on, my love? Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting your husband. I appreciate you. Love you. Thank you. I don't know what J is. So I'll figure out what that is. T. Walker is in here. What's going on, T. Walker? He says, I made it up to the game and I was in the building. I was hoping to bump into you, but the energy was crazy today. Listen, I understand completely. I love trying to run into people myself when I get up there. Hopefully next time we'll get to see each other for one of the games coming up. But yeah, the energy was really interesting today. But the Falcons fans were all about it. And boy, did they let the Saints fans know who hit that field goal. That place erupted, man. I hadn't heard a good eruption like that in a long time. And that's a beautiful thing to see. Beautiful. Retro G is in here. What's going on, Retro G? Said Tiny Wildin' on X about Troy. Oh, really? Oh, wow. I might have to check that out. Uh-oh. Tiny says Troy Anderson is no Devonta Freeman. That's for sure. Yeah. Okay. The one-hit wonder, the great Devonta Freeman. And I will leave Devonta alone. Devonta helped us get to the Super Bowl. I ain't mad at him. ATL Skate Man in the house. What's going on, brother? Hello, Uncle Steve. Was this a good win? Okay. Here is something that's going to sound like it's not being snippy. It's not being sarcastic. It's not being bitter, nasty at anybody. At this point, I don't even care. It's a good win. It's a win. And these are those games, my friend, that later on, when you start getting into December and you start talking about, oh, that team is 3-4 in the conference. Oh, this team is 5-2 in the conference. That Philly game, to me, I know we didn't want to start the year 1-2. We would have rather been 2-1. But if you were going to win one of the three games, the Philly game was the one to win because that's going to come into play later on. So say, for instance, if the unfortunate situation where either Tampa or New Orleans happens to win the division, then you start in a battle with a wild card. Guess what's the first tiebreaker? It's next to head-to-head. Next to that is division game. I'm sorry, conference games for the wild card after head-to-head. So you got to start stacking wins from that sense. So when you say good win, does good mean? I don't know the definition of good. The ball went through the uprights. That's good. I mean, the defense did a pick six. That's good. Special teams got a fumble in the end zone. That's good. The offense had 4 drives where they got cool in position to hit those field goals. Do we have work to do? Yes. So I guess to me it's a good win. It's a win. I don't know. As Alabama was at a good win yesterday. Alabama said they don't care. They don't care. They don't care that other team came back from 28-0. They won the game. And Georgia doesn't care that was a fight to the finish and their team never quit. They lost. So I know that was a tight I didn't mean to go off on a tangent, but yeah, I think good win, bad win, ugly win is a win. Clayton said that last penalty on the center, I didn't see the ball move, but TV didn't show it long enough. Yeah, it to me, it didn't look like it did because they showed it on the screen and I didn't see it. But I don't know. Barbara Ridley in the house. What's going on, Barbara? She said, great win. We got to do better to beat the Bucs. Absolutely. You want to beat these teams in our division, you got to come with better play. You got to. I agree. Say Through Jesus says, shout out to 44 for a great day. Absolutely. Troy Anderson might have been one of the folks that ever since Nate Landman went down, oh man, Troy, not again, Troy. And yes, they kind of had him set up where he was meeting Alvin Kamara pretty much all day outside the box. As soon as he do those swing passes, he was the one getting. Alvin got his, but for the most part, he wasn't like setting the world on fire. Barbara says the refs gave Chiefs the win again today. Guess the script says 17-0. I think that's what it was, too. I was telling somebody when we were going out the field when they gave that pass interference to Mooney, which it was pass interference. The referees, like when it happened, like, y'all remember last week? Make up call. She says her MVP is cool. Absolutely. Mad Savage says if they can win Thursday, that would be nice. It would be beautiful. It'd be a nice start. Say Through Jesus says, give credit to that ref that called a holding call for nothing, taking away a touchdown. Refs throwing games this year. The scrutiny of the referees. We really do need to kind of look into that, I'm sure. Barbara says the stadium had a lot of empty seats. Did you notice? I did. And that's why I said at the very beginning. I think, and especially for games like this, Barbara, because I'm pretty sure as you came in and everyone else comes in, this Atlanta area is really a very party-ish type place. It's a party place. So the tailgates, folks that have no desire, they bought their tickets and have no desire to go in, will go out there and just party. And that's great. The atmosphere is cool. But at some point, we need to start telling them to come on in and enjoy the game. But the seats are sold out, and those people made those investments. I hate to say it, listen, I'm not going to throw away my investment. Even when the Falcons went through those lean years, I've been at the game because that's a big investment to me. But it has to be more than monetary, too. I love the team, so I'll be there. Clayton says, oh, yeah, MVP to all special teams and Judon with the honorable Tyler Algier. And let's not – I'm going to tell you what. They can call holding basically every time Matthew Judon goes to the – they called him one time. But, man, I counted at least 5 or 6 times that they were clotheslining the brother. I don't know. And Judon is doing better than people think he is. Yeah, the 15-yard penalty hurt us, but he's doing much better than folks I think. He's made a little bit of a difference. Tim McCarthy, man, what's going on, Tim? How you doing, sir? What's up, buddy? Man, I tell you, the offense really needs to get it together. What my hope is, Tim, and what I'm sure everyone else is hoping is that, okay, we've gotten through that part where we said, okay, Kurt, you didn't play preseason, but now you've played 4 games. So now things should start looking a little better. Now things should start, looking good. So, yeah, absolutely. We need to get it together, but good to win while we're doing this. And this is, Lord, I can't even see what that says. But I got you, my brother. He said, Uncle Steve's Lounge told you that D is championship pedigree. Yeah, man. No doubt. Yeah, we're going to be able to do some things. No doubt at all. Well, brother Jeremy Cox in the house. What is going on, Jeremy? How you doing, brother? I'll be watching you sell them lamps. And you make some funny stuff, man. I wish I lived closer. I'd be a frequent visitor. He says, number 1 is Koo. Number 2 is Troy for a half. Fair point. And number 3, Algier, honorable mention. Cousins wasn't bad. He set us up for every field goal, and even interception really wasn't on him. The interception actually wasn't. And again, I think now there were a couple of throws that he threw kind of in the double coverage because he just thought Drake was going to do it. And I'm like, oh, I'm just going to need you to look around a little bit better. He wasn't awful. This definitely wasn't the Pittsburgh game. But and to your point, he set up 4 field goals. So it couldn't have been that bad. But we could use better. We could. My brother Larry is in the house from the Dixon Way. Him and his wife Shonda do a great job of live reaction sports. Y'all make sure y'all turn down the volume of the national sports. Turn up the Dixon Way. Check him out on YouTube doing this thing. I'm pretty sure. I don't know which one he did today because I know the Falcons game was on, and I know the Braves unfortunately could not clinch today. Lost 4-2. They put Charlie Morton on the mound, which I said to myself, that's going to be problems. I remember looking at my phone and saw it was 3-0 in the second inning. I said, oh, Lord. I just knew it. He says, Troy Anderson and Ellis are horrible. I'm sorry. They are horrible in run defense. There's nothing we can do with our personnel outside of Nate Landman getting healthy. With that said, I'm glad Troy got a pick 6 on the tip drill. And look, as I was saying earlier, Larry, before I just saw your statement, I think all the games right now, what team is really hitting on all cylinders right now? It's not Kansas City. I'm just running through. I'm just looking at the records of the team. Buffalo has looked pretty solid most of the year, but they struggled the first game of the year. Pittsburgh is super lucky they have an all-world defense. They probably be 2-2 and possibly 1-3. Houston, who was expected to run away with things, has struggled, but they're 3-1. Kansas City, as we saw last week, can be beat. Almost got beat today by a Chargers team. Dallas Cowboys, Philadelphia Eagles, they can be beat. Everyone's talking about them. Minnesota has looked very good off the rip. Got to give our NFC South folks, Tampa Bay, they've done a decent job, but there aren't any teams that I just say look unbeatable right now. And that's why when I go to the mantra of each game is decided by 2 or 3 plays. That's it. And they'll come at different times. But it's 2 or 3 plays today. Big plays. So, yeah, That one Falcon fan, what's going on? What's going on? He said, what's up, Got a lot of stuff to say about this, so here we go. He says, Troy Anderson heard all the smack folks were talking about him and went in Michael Jordan mode. He didn't say Michael Jordan mode, did he? He said, "Coup is him," which is a far cry from when he was in that preseason game earlier this year. And 3, our offense is bad. He said, is Michael Jackson bad or is it bad? His offense is bad. 4 offensive touchdowns in 4 games is not playoff caliber performance. We need to sharpen up, and I'm also starting to think that Kyle Pitts is a bust. I know a lot of people are kind of getting off the Kyle Pitts bandwagon, and quite honestly, I understand. Third party action is in the house. What's up, third party? You said fans needed this home win. Yes, we did. Yeah, we did need this. We did need this one because, man, it would have been tough to lose 3 in a row at home to start the season. And I'm pretty sure with about a minute left, we thought we had. But give them credit for doing what they do, marching down the field. Larry says, who is the MVP of the season? Also, Kurt isn't the problem. Our rookie OC is looking like the biggest rookie this season, to be honest. There have been a lot of critique about his play calling, and I understand, and it is well-deserved, the criticism. It's early. People have to remember, he wasn't an OC in L.A. He was a pass game coordinator. So he's just now doing this job for the first time. I'm not trying to say patient. In the NFL, nobody cares about patience. You either can do it or you can't do it. But I will say, in spite of some things, we are winning a couple of ball games, and right now you just gotta hope we can just put it together. And let's hope we can put it together Thursday. What a great win that would be to get that win against Tampa Thursday and be able to take a little 10-day break going to Carolina. That would be awesome. Henry says, if the Falcons can put up a convincing win against the Bucs next, look out. And it doesn't even have to be convincing. Just win. Like I say, all the adjectives of winning is cool. I hear you, and that's not a knock. But convincing win, good win, overwhelming win, just win. Win, win, win. Win, 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 win. What's that song? All I do is win. I like that song. Brent Chisel, 86 is in the house. What's going on? Say, yes, sir. Good dub. Strong win. Cool. Another adjective. Strong victory. Strong win. And Tavius is in here. What's going on, brother? He said, yo, what a victory. It was a great victory to me. Because a victory is a good victory. Eldridge Smith is in the house. What's going on, brother? He said, will Kyle Pitts have over 600-yard receiving for the year? I don't know. Sometimes people go on streaks, man. So I don't want to project out right now because who knows? Maybe we might get into the part of the year where we may have to use him. Today, Algier was the special weapon today. So maybe Kyle Pitts will get his turn. We're only 4 games in, folks. And we have enough weapons now that it'll be somebody else's turn. Bijan has had his turn. Today it was a little bit of Tyler's turn. Mooney has had his turn. So, we'll see. David Stark's in the house. What's going on, David? So what's up, Steve? Always glad to win, but the offense only scored 12 points. Unacceptable. And all these things y'all saying are true. It's not like I'm disagreeing with them or not. I am saying that it's good to win and talk about those problems. So y'all make sure y'all hit that like button for your unc coming in here. We got a lot of folks in the house, and I appreciate y'all. Y'all make sure y'all hit that button so people can know where they can find Uncle Steve's Lounge here on YouTube and exclusively on Facebook. RJC, what's going on, man? He said, I was at the game, got my free t-shirts for the fan. Yes. Oh, man, that was beautiful. The t-shirts, when you come into the game, all the t-shirts were laid out on the seats. It was cool. He said, this offense has got to get it in gear. Red zone, not scoring touchdowns, has been going on for the past 6 years. He's right. He's right. Absolutely. Henry says, gotta love the victory horn sound at the bends. Yeah, the train sound. I absolutely love it, especially when Koo hit that bad boy. And then dude, when he hit that kick and we were like sitting up there, our vantage point is obviously where we can't see from that side, but on the halo, they show it straight up. But you could see the kick, and it was a good kick, and I knew it had the distance. I looked up on the thing and I said, oh yeah, it's good. That was beautiful. Great moment. Dirty Bird 67 said that Philly game was really big for the conference. Yes. And again, just like you're pointing out, those are things that people are not paying attention to right now. Nobody's saying it was okay to lose the 2 AFC games, but it was great to win the NFC game. Larry says a dub is a win is a dub. I'm not apologizing for getting a win. Absolutely. Hopefully we can learn from our wins like we are supposed to learn from off our losses. True. Absolutely. Montoya is here. How you doing, Montoya? He said, I'm excited about the win, but I think we still need to work on some things. A win is a win. And I'm telling y'all, listen, winning this game against the Saints, think about the feeling we had going out. And even going out to say, yeah, man, Kurt needs some work, but we won. Yeah, man, Kyle to get he's not getting any receptions, but we won. Yeah, the defense shouldn't have given up that last touchdown, but we won. That's a different feeling. It's a positive thing that you can correct those negatives while soaking in your positive. If that makes sense. Twan, what's going on, man? How you doing? He said, hey, it was a good team win. Anytime we beat New Orleans, I'm happy. So now I get to gloat for the next month. I know I rep us in Louisiana. I remember, Twan, I remember you telling me, boy, you ought to go down there and have a good time this week. And I tell you what, I love today, too, because a couple of my New Orleans friends had an active cash out for me today. Yeah. That I will take that all day. That's my homeboy Quentin Wimby in the house. What's going on, Q? He said, "You right, bro. A win is a win." Yeah, going back looking at the last 6 years, and we haven't had a lot to cheer about, quite honestly. So these wins that we're getting, I'm gonna celebrate them all week long. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna tell y'all what I do real quick before I go back into the comments. This is how, I don't want to say weird I am. Like when we beat a team today, we beat New Orleans. So I got to the car. I wasn't able to go with my wife today, to my best friend, Joe. And when the game was over, I go to the car and I immediately turn on the Odyssey app and I look for the New Orleans Saints radio network. Because I'm that dude. Because I want to hear the pain. And I want to hear the stuff that we in Atlanta think that nobody else talks about. They get on talk radio and say how bad their teams are after a loss. They do it there. I did the same thing in Philly. When I was in Philly, the next morning, before I flew out, I turned on WIP, their big-time sports channel. And you would have thought they were ready to fire the coach, cut Jalen Hurts, get rid of Jalen Carter off of that one Monday night loss. So, again, I immerse myself as a fan and listen to what other fan bases are talking about. I tell everybody this all the time. For everybody that thinks, oh, the Falcons, y'all the most miserable fan base in the way. No, that's everybody. When you lose, nobody's happy. The only people who've been happy the last 3 or 4 years is Kansas City fans. San Francisco fans aren't celebrating 3 Super Bowl appearances or 2 or 3 Super Bowl appearances and losing. So every fan base goes through it, but I do that every game. I listen to a little bit of the Falcons stuff, and then I go straight to the visitors to hear them wallow in their sorrow. And I'm hoping I can do that for the Tampa Bay sports this week. James, what's going on, cuz? How you doing, man? He said a win is a win. We do more work around and all around in every area. Absolutely. I agree with you. Sean is in the house too. What's up, Sean? He said, hey, keep us in prayers here in Augusta. Got the worst of the storm. We will be without power until the field. Let me tell you something. And he's absolutely right. Just it's a prayer out for everyone. When you hear hurricane, obviously inland, you're not thinking about it as much because you figure you're not at the beach. You're not with, houses right by the beach with bad, where the foundation is and things like that. But the flooding and the rain over this last week was absolutely ridiculous. And just wishing for the best for all of those in Florida, Georgia, North Carolina. I saw some awful pictures up there. But yeah, brother, y'all stay strong up there, man. And I hope if you look on the NFL Network, Arthur Blank, by the way, he just gave $2 million towards a relief fund for Hurricane Helene. So yeah, think of our Falcon fans everywhere else. That goes to you too, Shad, man. Hope everything turns out great, my friend. David says positive. Judon has been great. He has done what he's been brought here to do. And all Judon doesn't have is the numbers. If y'all watch Judon, and Judon is hard not to watch him with the red sleeves. If you watch Judon work and you see not only where he is to the quarterback, but you also see how every offensive line basically holds him every time, it's ridiculous. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Kenneth Davis says, "Cool is king." Yes, sir. He is, at least today. WCG says, it was a win, so I will take it, but it was an ugly win. That Saints team had big injuries, and many Saints fans expected to lose because of being injured. Hey, man, let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell you what I think about that right now. I mean, nobody is feeling sorry for the Atlanta Falcons when we lost Rondale Moore right before the season, when we lost Nate Landman at the very beginning. Nobody's feeling sorry for us. So it's the game. And nobody's saying they won, but I mean, if you could say the same thing about Taysom Hill today. Taysom Hill got hurt. They really didn't do much after that. So are we feeling sorry for them? No, that's football. People get hurt sometimes. And that's why you have a 53-man roster, because there's supposed to be somebody there to take his place. So, yeah, I hear you, but no, I'm not letting anybody off the hook. The good doctor is in the house. My brother Harrison Davis is here. What's going on, man? He said, I will accept every Falcons W. Exciting game, and I had fun walking back to my car after the game. Harrison, is it not the greatest feeling when you're coming out of that stadium and you go out? Now, I don't know exactly where you sit, but when you go out and especially to the outside and you see the Saints fans so quiet, or either whatever opposing team it is that's so quiet. We haven't done it this year. We haven't won this year at home until today. But it's a great feeling to go out and, yeah, give it one of them. I'm not talking about in their face. We're not condoning frontal taunting, because if you get beat up, that's on you. But you gotta love the feeling that you get coming out of there. I love it. David says the penalty on Judon was pure BS. The crazy thing is we didn't even see it on the screen. I remember them calling it, but I didn't see it. They were saying, I mean, I didn't see it, so maybe it was BS. I don't know. Tim McCarthy says Booney is definitely our number one. Yeah, there's no doubt on that. Sister alert in the house. What's going on, sis? How you doing? She says MVP is cool. And the Fox affiliate in Chicago that switched so I could watch Cool win it for, great. There was one of those games that you got to see the end. Well, good. That was a great game. Great game. Tim says KC is in trouble. Rice looks to have a torn ACL. Yeah, I know. They were counting on him, too. Really were. So I hear you. Coach's Corner is in the house. What's going on, Dre? I know Coach has been trying to get that podcast on, but I know he's doing some other things. But the brother be dropping knowledge all the time. Y'all see him on a lot of different shows on here. And once I'm going to have an open forum here coming up in October. I'll let y'all know when we're going to do it. But absolutely, we're going to get it right. He said, let's stop getting on Troy and letting Grady and the crew off the hook for the front line. Is trash. Scrap the 3-4. We don't have the size of good enough players and go 4-5. Time to trade Grady, but it won't happen. And here's the funny thing, right? For some of you who are just Grady enthusiasts, and I'm a Grady fan, don't get me wrong. Yeah, the D-line is, which was being touted as a strength. Yeah, the D-line. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. And maybe there's time to shore that up as well. And remember, Grady came off that first game, 1.5 sacks. So we were all like, okay, rejuvenated Grady. But you know what it is, Drake? Is it just me or Grady? I told people at the beginning of the year, Grady looks thin. I mean, he looks like he's in good shape. But I used to think maybe that extra weight used to help him. So I don't know. I think I like big Grady. Larry says, yeah, we get a win against the Bucs. We are control of our division, and that's the objective this season. Host the playoff games in the Benz. I called us being 2-2 after 4 games, so we are on track. Yeah. That's about right. WCG says, before we call anybody a bust or bad, we need a competent quarterback. Hello. Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, hey, it is what it is. Fred Chisel says, Uncle Steve, you love Desmond. I used to. You know who I love now?
I love Cousins.
Well, here's the thing. I saw a picture today. Jaden Daniels, who is just yikes. Jaden Daniels, yikes. And we have to play him, folks. Yikes. Dude is throwing 82% completion on his passes. And one of the reasons I'm bringing up him, because at the end of the game, you know, Jaden is glad handing everybody. And then I see somebody flash through, and I'm looking, and I'm saying, who is that? Flashing through there, giving him a hug on there.
I love Desmond.
It was our buddy Desmond Ritter in street clothes, as the practice squad should be. But oh, man. But gotta love it. Atlanta Burgang says, off topic, but Derrick Henry just took 187 yards to the house. Derrick Henry. And you know, remember, that was one of the criticisms when they started 0-2. Like, where's Derrick Henry? And I know he scored a touchdown in one of those 2 games, but yeah, dude, that's what y'all brought him in there to run the ball. 87 yards. I didn't realize he could run that fast. I don't know. But I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked at all. If Baltimore uses it right, they're going to be in trouble. Tremel thinks culture's in the house. He says we got injuries too. Yes, absolutely. That's why there's no excuse. None whatsoever. Franchiso said, yeah, that was a good move by Arthur Blank. He deserves a championship for the city for real. But he's always been like that for real, Franchiso. He's always been like that. So every time I used to hear people kind of give Arthur Blank the business, and again, you have a right everybody has a right to their opinion to do what they want to do. But Arthur Blank is one of, if not the best owner in the league, not just because of team success, but just what he does in and around the community, man. So just be glad we got him. Save Through Jesus said, is it okay if I take my Arthur Smith and Desmond Ritter posters off the wall? Y'all make me do this. Oh, man. Yeah, you can do it. Oh, boy. Did Carlos say, I'll take it? Okay. Oh, my goodness. He said, Saints was salty. Yes, they were. Yes, they were. And again, Carlo, they weren't the same. I'm telling y'all, for people who were there, this wasn't that same Saints rambunctious group of folks who were in your face. You know, we got the lead. Even when they got the lead, it wasn't this big. I don't know, man. I almost wanted it. I mean, I was in the section when they scored a touchdown. I was like, oh, man, here we go. No chance. No weed at. Nothing. So when they went down, when they lost the game, you saw them out there partying with us at you saw some of the spots where the Falcon people partying. They in there. They like they're part of the Falcons family. No. Take your loss back home. Larry says Judon has been awesome, in my opinion, disruptive and always being held by his sleeves, but the ref won't call it. Yeah, you can basically call it every time. Henry says my prediction for the next defensive MVP, Justin Simmons, and offensive MVP, Ray McLeod. They better wait. That better wait picks up. I mean, it's up to Pitts at this point because Pitts' value is going to go down. You see all the money that these tight ends and wide receivers are making. I mean, yeah. King Richie in the house. What's going on, King? He said Algier had a monster game. He's maybe the reason this offense get to clicking. You know what that drive reminded me of? Do y'all remember a couple of years ago when we were playing Cleveland and they gave the ball to, what's my buddy's name? Caleb Huntley. And Caleb Huntley basically ran the ball all the way down. Now, the exception is we finished that with a touchdown. But that's what that reminded me of Tyler Algier. Things were stale. Things were whatever. And in the first half, Tyler got the ball, and just like every other play, he went 10 yards, 15 yards, 12 yards. But we just got to finish it up. Got to. Millie Mills in the house. What's up, Millie Mills? He said, Uncle Steve, what's up? Don't got nothing to do with this with Atlanta, but whoever said King Henry don't got it, no more need to be counseled, man. That was probably the Tennessee Titans. Those are the only people that said he didn't got it. I knew he did. Barbara says David and Grady not doing the best, so why not give Rook and Dorless a chance? I'm telling you, man, Rook's been on that inactive list every week, right? That's crazy. Antara in the house, what's going on? He's at 3-1 if not for the Chiefs refs. Absolutely. My buddy Joe, I mentioned him earlier today. That was my road dog today when we were watching the game. What's going on, my brother? He said, you like Big Grady, we like Big, like we love Big Luther. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's right. I mean, Big Grady filled up the gap. And it was nice to see little in shape Grady going through there, getting those sacks the first week. But yeah, it's been a struggle. That's actually a good analogy, Joe. that's a really good analogy. Carlos says, off topic, in the house announcing, the in-house announcing got to be more lively. Are you talking about the lady who doing stuff, or are you talking about Ryan Cameron? Because I think Ryan Cameron does a pretty good job to me. pumping them up? Or are you talking about the person who does all the games and stuff like that? Say Through Jesus says, smash that like button. Thank you so much for Uncle Steve. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Love his analytical takes and insights. Thank you. I appreciate that. Dude, I try to keep it as simple as possible because I'm a simple man. Trust me. Thank you. I appreciate that. Larry says the Vikings and Commanders are on our schedule, and I'm worried about those two teams because I didn't think they were going to be any good this year. And that's this season, and that's why you never can overlook anybody. You can't. You can't. Here it says, don't forget your other favorite Uncle Steve, Felipe Franks. You know what? Y'all leave Felipe alone, man. That was this weird thing that I just thought Felipe would develop into this guy for a quick second. I don't know. Maybe I was sniffing glue. I don't know what it was. Oh, man. Jamel says, Mike Hughes has been playing like a second round pick. Let me tell you something. Mike Hughes has been playing very well. Why is it every time there's a big play in the secondary, he's on the other end of it? Not saying anything blasphemous about our buddy AJ, but man, has he been balling. Is that just me? Mike Hughes has been doing his job, man. And that was remember at the beginning of the year, we were all concerned, who's going to be on the other side? Who's going to be on the other side? Well, he's been holding it down. I'm not trying to tell you he's the real Revis, Deion Sanders or anybody like that, but he's doing a very solid job of holding things down. Now, there is a test this week because you got Evans on one side and Godwin on the other side. So there will definitely be some testing of the secondary this week. He said, I believe that Pitts should work on other tight end qualities and he will get his. I think, look, this is no excuse for Pitts at all because he had a big play last week against Kansas City, got the touchdown the first week of the season. Look, Kyle Pitts is at a crossroad right now, and I'm pretty sure he realizes, like, man, if I don't start balling out, my worth is not going to be that much. So I know he has work to do, but he's got to reach down and dig down and take advantage, man. Eric Park is in the house. What's going on, Eric? How you doing, sir? Rise up, my friend. Yes, sir. Larry says Pitts is the word derives with rust. The coaching staff can't make him run better routes or learn how to post players up like a power forward in basketball. That's a good. No. He is just a slow wide receiver that can't block. I mean, here's the problem that I have with this. I want to disagree with these things, but he hasn't shown me anything to counteract these comments. He hasn't. As somebody, and I'm definitely somebody, I say this every draft. Once we draft the players, I'm down with you. I was not a big fan of the drafting of Kyle Pitts, and I've made no secret about that. But while he's here, I hope we make the most of it, of his contributions. And I don't know, man. It's gonna be tough it's tough. It's gonna be tough for Kyle, man. It's gonna be tough. And then you look out there in Vegas and you see Brock Bowers doing what he's doing, and you're like, ooh, ooh. Did we get the wrong SEC tight end? Like I said, Mike Hughes has been our best cornerback this young season. Yep, I believe you. I don't think it's anybody that'll disagree with that. WCG says, one guy on defense that hasn't shown up is David Onyemata. That's why I'm not for re-signing Judon in that first year. Onyemata looked good and missing now. Well, okay. And Onyemata did look a lot better last year. I don't think you can really apply that to Judon. The only thing that would bother me about Judon is, obviously aging. But as long as he keeps himself in shape, I mean, dude comes around there like a monster. I kind of disagree. I hope we can sign Judon and Simmons, quite honestly. I hope he can. But, yeah. Eric says, what's got into Troy Anderson today was his awareness better. I don't know what happened to Troy. Troy got tired of people talking about him. He's probably listening to the Atlanta Bird game. Tidy was dogging him out. So he probably said, oh man. Say through Jesus says, I'm up for Tony Gonzalez 3.0. I can take it. I can take it. All day, all night. We can do it. Absolutely. Tidy says, Steve, dare I say old Matt Ryan made a lot of guys look better than they actually are. Kyle Pitts, Austin Hooper, Sanu. Did we take the old Iceman for granted? That's a great question. And add Roddy White to that list because Roddy didn't catch on. I don't think Roddy was done. So that's a very good point. He had Kyle Pitts that first year when he got that 1,000 yards. Now, also keep in mind, in fairness, Tidy, if you remember that year, that was the year Julio was no. That was the year after Julio, wasn't it? It was the year after Julio. No. We thought Julio was going to come in and he didn't play because he ended up trading him after the draft. Calvin Ridley came in later that year, and then he had the mental issues and then got caught for gambling. So you either had Kyle Pitts or you had, what was our buddy who went to Tampa? What's my buddy's name? LSU dude, right? Y'all tell me what his name is. Russell Gage. That's all you had. So that's crazy. Like, oh yeah, that's why I love talking to folks like that. I see like Ford, I see Brandon, I see Henry, I see Tidy. Love that the knowledge on fan. I love talking to people that know stuff. Does it ever bother you when you go up to somebody, and especially when you're talking about your team? You're like, yeah, because number 25, he can run the ball real good. He's like, I really like his style. He runs so strong. He's like, hey man, who are you talking about? I don't know his name. I think it starts with an A. Those fans are the ones that just go to games. I can't stand those people. I can't stand, but I'll tolerate them. Let me step back. I want to say, Smart Rod in the house. What's going on, man? How you doing, brother? Good to see you in the house. He said, great show. Kyle Pitts is fine. He's just not being targeted enough. Under Matt Ryan, 110 targets. Ritter, 90. We've only won 7 games. That's a fair point, too. That's a fair point. I would say intelligent fans. It's all of these things. There is not. Matter of fact, there's only been like 3 comments that I've said, all these things are valid comments. Valid. But as long as we get the W, I'm cool. That's it. And Brandon, I appreciate you chiming in early. He said Kurt is not playing well. He's not. He's not playing. And here's the thing, Brandon. He's not playing well for the monetary expectations we paid him for. We paid him as if he was going to be a quarterback savior. And he's not right now. Now, the sad thing is we kind of took the risk. We knew a 36-year-old coming off an Achilles injury, there could be issues. And who knows? Maybe he can turn into a better player later on this year. Maybe he'll get used to, maybe that Achilles will kind of wake up or whatever it does. But right now, he looks interesting. Dre says, telling people Troy isn't bad. It's effectively his second year. Give him a chance like he did everyone else. That's true. He was hurt the 1 year. Brandon said a great corral. Absolutely. Absolutely. Brandon says add Calvin Ridley to that list. That's fair. That's fair. Matt Ryan got Calvin Ridley paid, to be honest with you. You know he had that 1 year with Trevor, but Matt got him paid. Henry said the pick six woke the inner beast. Troy Anderson. Got to thank Judon for that deflection, too. Judon is always in there, man. Saw that big old paw go up. Oh, not the ball. WCG says maybe it is just clicked with Troy. Finally, remember he is fairly new to the linebacker, playing new to linebacker. That's right, because he's a quarterback, right? Forgot about that. Forgot completely about that. You're right. King said, Roddy said Horn had to teach him how to run routes. I believe it. I believe it. Saved You Jesus says, where has Grady been? Missing him on their quarterback. That makes two of us. Absolutely. Larry says there is no running back no wide receiver that's had a better career after leaving Matt Ryan. Not one. Even Julio, and that's not cap. Those are facts. No lies detected. Zero. Dre says, yes, I get annoyed daily in the ABG with the non-knowing football fans. They irk me too. And here's the thing, and I want to say that because I make fun of a lot of things and sometimes personalities and stuff, but there's a place for you because it is kind of a balance because all of us can't be as smart. I mean, there's a lot of things I don't know, and I rely on folks like, especially like yourself, Dre, and a lot of other people that know a lot more football than me. And I always tell people I come from the fan perspective, so I know what I say might not be the exact XO chalkboard, whatever. I'm just going by years, decades of. If you sit in front and watch something for decades, you'll get smarter about things. So, but yeah, it is a little bit irking. No, it is. Titus says Coach Money's definitely not matching the production. He needs to step his game up. The left-hander stands up in the bench watching the game. Hey, man, listen. I don't want to ritter him. And what I mean by that is to put him up before it's his time.
I love that.
If we remember, I think, and think about this, y'all. We actually, as a fan base, if y'all remember, don't try to hide now, because I'm raising my hand. When the Mariota project wasn't working and he conveniently got hurt, and conveniently decided to hang it up, we all jumped on the Ritter bandwagon like he was the guy. And then he played those 4 games at the end of 2022. And I tried to tell any Falcon fan of their worth that this was David Archer 2.0. And love David Archer in the radio booth. Love what he does for the Falcons. But back then, he wasn't it. He had a very similar. And for those of you who are young enough to not remember Dave Archer passing, go watch the tape of Desmond Ridder in 2023. David Archer was that. So my reluctancy to put Michael Penix in now is just the mere fact that I don't want to mess him up. I just saw this picture play out last year. And I don't want to put somebody out there who's not ready. I think he's more ready than Desmond Ridder talent-wise, but I just want to make sure we let him look at that speed, maybe go through a year of finding out. And who knows, knock on wood, I hope Kurt doesn't get hurt, but I also don't want to stunt the growth of Michael Penix. And it's just been shown a lot of times, unless your name is Jaden Daniels in the first 4 games, that you come right out of the box being that great that quick. It just doesn't happen as much. You go through those bumps, and I would rather him go through those bumps on the sideline watching. And Dottie also says, I'm not being patient for a third-year guy drafted in the second round. Ritter wasn't given the same concessions. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Yep. Brandon says Troy played okay today. He was tackling Kamara in that second half. Yeah, they actually made a few adjustments in the second half, especially with the running game. They weren't gashing like they were in the first half. Brandon says excellent touchdown by Bijan today. Phantom holding call, but Tyler ran the ball better overall. And you heard Raheem, if you listen to the I listened to the press conference afterwards, you know, he said Tyler was the hot guy. And as a coach, that's good to hear. That's good to hear that the coach is gonna say, you know what? I want you guys to realize that I'm not just gonna prostitute the team out to one guy just because he's supposed to be the star. Today was Tyler's day, and Tyler gave you those yards, and it was at a critical time of the game. So I'm glad that he at least admitted that. Philip Crawford, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. Brandon Levy says, let's be honest, Ritter was never developed by Arthur Smith. That's the problem, Brandon. But they told us the great lie of 2023 was they told us that he was fine. They told us his leadership capabilities would take us through. That's why I don't want to rush Michael Penix. That's why. Macktown Dirty in the house. Say hello, USA FHKP. I'm missing that. Y'all gotta talk to me. I'm probably a little slow on the uptake on that one. Henry says Kurt still has 13 games to prove he's worth the money, and even in postseason, if the Falcons can make it. That's true. That's true. That's true. Mike, Island Mike in the house. What's up, Island Mike? He said, Unc Pitts is a ghost. Well, he got 2 targets, I think. The one was pass interference. The one guy jumped all over him. So he did. He did. Brandon says Daniels has one good game. Let's pump the brake. Ooh, did you watch today's game? See today, yesterday, and today? I'm not trying to tell you he's Patrick Mahomes, but I am telling you he's 3-1 on a team that was supposed to be rebuilding this year. So I would have loved to be 3-1 under a young quarterback under my team. I'm not telling you he's the cat's meow, but I'm saying he's doing well. Mike says, our defense has got to stop the run a lot better. They did in the second half. You got to make those. You got to make those adjustments. You got to. Jamal in the house. What's up, Jamal? How you doing, brother? Michael says, what do you think of Cousins' play so far? And Bijan was pouting on the sideline. Not a good look. You know what? Bijan got to realize, man, you got to go with the hot hand. And he, hey, it's about winning, right? He'll be fine. As far as Cousins concerned, I'll give him a solid C+. I'll give him a C+. Let's see what he does against Tampa Bay. I give him a C+ so far this year. He's had moments, but we need a little bit more. Henry says teams that are flying high now may not remain the same in November and December. Who knows? Maybe that'll be the time the Falcons really put fear in the league. I hope so. Only time will tell. Brandon says maybe we could draft Jalen Milroe. Milroe is, dude. Yeah. if somebody's been working on his passing, his passing was very suspect at the beginning of 23, and he got better last year. And yeah, that pass to my brother, to the little 17-year-old at the end, that last pass, yeah, that was special. That was special. David says, Raheem also got on my nerves talking about Pitts. Stats are for losers until his contract time. Let's see what happens when his when his Cubs, if this keeps up. Yeah, I heard the little stats are for losers thing. Yeah, that's that's the one thing about Raheem Morris. Again, I like him as an individual person, but the no pun intended rah coaches. See Dan Quinn, they're good when you're winning. Let's see how that works out when you when you start losing. Matt Town, what you doing, Matt Town? Matt Town said, "Dang, spell check." That's me too, man. Sometimes I get on that. He says, Pitts was open twice on that last drive. Kurt was staring down Drake and Mooney and didn't look his way. There was one on that last drive where Pitts was open. Here's the problem. By the time you get to the fourth quarter, and you're probably seeing who's been doing the job for you, so he probably tended to look towards those guys more. I don't blame him for that. That's just natural that he would do that. That's natural. But I understand what you're saying. You say that's not on Pitts. That's fair. Carlos said we barely scraping by, and this isn't going to cut it when we get deeper into the season. Robinson's going to have to scheme better. Now, on one point, you are right. We are barely scraping by, and at least we've been in every game. But Carlo, I would rather these mistakes happen in September than to happen in November and December. So maybe this is our getting to know you part with the team, and that's fine. But yes, we have to get better. We got to. Brandon says the Falcons found a way to win this game. That's a good sign. Tampa on Thursday. We need another home win, but the crowd has been there. They were definitely there today. And they were there against Kansas City too. They've absolutely been there. Said winners find a way to win, losers find a way to lose. That's a great one. He said they should do some pick and roll plays with Pitts to get them going. They're gonna have to do something with Pitts. Something. Michael says, I would love a blowout game, but I don't see it with this team. And see, here's the thing. There haven't really been a lot of blowout. Perfect example. And I was guilty of this too. Remember the team that we beat today? Remember when they came out and they scored 47 against Carolina, and they went to Dallas and scored 40-something points, and everybody was like, oh, the Saints, they're coming back. They're going to be live. They're going to be live. And 2 games later, back to life, back to reality. That's how it goes. NFL is week to week, play to play. And sometimes it's going to be a masterpiece, and sometimes it's going to be, woo. And today just happened to be, woo. But I'll take it. The Atlanta Falcons win today, 26-24. Appreciate all the love y'all gave me today, man. This has been awesome. I went a little bit over, but I'm glad to hear everyone talking about this today. Y'all make sure y'all first, before you leave, before y'all cut me off and go to somebody else, hit the like button for me. Don't forget, whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on YouTube, hit that for me first. And then if you haven't subscribed, I love for you to subscribe. I see a lot of new people coming in here. Make sure y'all hit that subscribe button for your unc so we can get this thing rolling out. I'm trying to get to 2,000 before the year is over with. Hopefully with your help and spreading the word, hopefully we can get this thing rolling. Again, I appreciate everyone joining us. Y'all take care of yourselves. This has been Uncle Steve's Lounge. I appreciate y'all. Hopefully we'll come on right before the game on Thursday, talk a little bit about pre-Tampa stuff. Until then, man, y'all have a great night. And We'll see you on Thursday.
You're in Uncle Steve's lounge. You're in Uncle Steve's